David Rubenstein, a co-founder of Carlyle Group, a $385 billion asset management firm, says, "I wish I bought Bitcoin at $100.
This is perfectly timed because Novogratz has been the piñata of Bitcoin when it goes down. It's been the genius of Bitcoin when it goes up. And all of a sudden, Larry showed up at the door to say, hey, big, respectable firms can prosecute and do Bitcoin. Link Lawrence Fink of BlackRock to Mike Novogratz.
Well, what's happened is people, as you suggest, make fun of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but now the establishment, Larry Fink at BlackRock, is now saying they're going to have an ETF, if approved by the government, in Bitcoin. So you're saying, wait a second, if the mighty BlackRock is willing to have an ETF in Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin's going to be around for a while.
Lisa wants to jump in here, but I'm going to cut to the news moment. Is Carlyle announcing this morning a Bitcoin advocacy?
No, I don't think so. But there's no doubt that Bitcoin is something that I wish I had bought it at $100 a Bitcoin when Mike Novogratz started buying it. It's now at $29,000. So he's made a lot of money. And a lot of people who bought it at the $100 or less are feeling pretty good. Now, it went up as high as 61,000, I think. Even down to 31,000 or even 29,000 now is still pretty good profit if you bought it at 100.
Now everyone wishes they had gotten into Bitcoin much more earlier. You know why? Because the return on investment is astronomical. Look at the return on investment over a 14-year period. You would have made about 3.8 billion% if you had invested in Bitcoin 14 years ago, and on gold it would have been just 100%. S&P 500, it would have been just 348%. So Bitcoin is by far a more superior asset in terms of return on investment. And having retraced to $29,483 as at the time of filming this video, I feel Bitcoin is still very much undervalued. You know why? Because there have been a lot of Bitcoin ETF filings, and if they are approved, the price of Bitcoin is going to jump to the moon. And specifically, BlackRock and Invesco are on the verge of a landmark achievement with the anticipated approval of their Bitcoin ETF. According to Galaxy Digital's Mike, the approval is a matter of when and not if, with the SEC likely to give a nod within the next 4 to 6 months. A few months back, he said the following.
We do know that Bitcoin is by far the leading cryptocurrency, and you think will remain that for a while?
I do. I think the most important thing that happened this year in Bitcoin is Larry Fink. He got orange pilled, as we say. Orange pill is when you take a non-believer and you make him a believer in Bitcoin. And Larry was a non-believer, and now he says, hey, this is going to be a global currency. People around the world all trust it. Well, BlackRock is the biggest.
BlackRock is now doing an ETF, or trying to do an ETF for Bitcoin. Yes. Is that a big change in the industry?
Yes, for Larry in particular, right, who's the CEO of this iconic company, to say, I believe in this, right? That's kind of huge, because again, like what Elizabeth Warren says, well, I don't believe in Bitcoin. I'm like, well, Elizabeth, Larry Fink does, Stan Druckenmiller does, Jeff Yost does, the richest person in your state, Abby Johnson does. Like, just because you do doesn't mean it's not real. Right? Value comes from when people believe there's value. And now we have this preponderance of evidence, 180 million people around the world that, without a gun to their head, take their hard-earned savings and store it in this community of people that run this technology, called Bitcoin.
Now he thinks it's going to be a fight. We're going to fight like cats and dogs to win market share once a spot Bitcoin ETF is approved. If the big guys are thinking this way, what's your stance on Bitcoin? This is it for this video. This is BlitzLBs, and this is your guy Ken, signing off.